So I want to start this where this starts. The basic premise is that liberal ideology is based off of merchant class ideology. So in the 16th and 17th century, Italian merchants were doing trade with places like London and places like Paris. And what they wanted to do was to be able to go wherever they wanted to go and have the opportunity to live and do business however they wanted without having to have the traditions, cultures, and heritages of the people around them hold them back from doing business. They wanted to create a society where no matter where you went, you will always be treated the exact same. You will always do business the exact same way. And this is the basic ideology of liberalism. Now, progressivism as a whole is an extension of the Protestant church, which allows you to be able to ask God for forgiveness and whatever you want to do, and whatever you did, you are immediately granted that forgiveness without, making any atonement or having any guilt about what you did. And this suits the merchant class mentality as a whole. And the modern progressivism is a split off from the Protestant church of the 17th and 1800s. If you examine documents like, the Declaration of Independence, where they said, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. You look at that and you examine it as an ideology. It's an ideology that would only apply in a legal corporatist sense. It would not apply to you as a man or any man inside of your culture, community, or civilization. Now, when you start looking at the high priests of this liberal ideology, you run into a man like George Carlin. And I found this video on the Stoic Sigma, right, which is a channel. I don't know how the hell I found it, but I wanted, I fucking listened to it. And I was like, man, listen, there's a reason why I never really liked a guy like George Carlin. If you listen to a man called Ted Kaczynski, right, Theodore Kaczynski, he wrote a piece called "The System's Neatest Trick," and basically what it is that the system itself feeds into itself and gives itself more workers, more people to loan to, more individuals to do consumption through the process of what we call the cathedral, which is academia and the media. And what they want to do is they wanted to eliminate manhood, eliminate, like heritage, eliminate culture. Again, in order to bring individuals in. That's what the civil rights was really, really about in the end of the day. They wanted to bring black people into their corporate structure, into their corporate, statuses. And in having that, they wanted to stand here and expand on what they were doing and be able to drop the cost of labor, which was, increasingly rising. That's why they want more immigrants in the country. They want to keep the cost of labor down while still expanding the economy through, the sale of more consumable goods, loans, and all the things that go with it. They operate on throughput. So I want you to listen to this, and then I want you to stand here and understand that, this ideology that this man spouted is something that you should really think about, because I know that a lot of people love this guy, right? And this is one of those paradigms you have to break, because when you listen to it with an ear for what we already know. It's important, right? Because this isn't comedy. This is beliefs. This is propaganda. It's important to understand.
This is the male disease. It's called being full of shit. The male disease includes the need to be in charge at all times. In charge, in control, in command. A real man sees himself as king of the hill, leader of the pack, captain of the ship. But all the while, in order to fit in and belong, he has to act like all the other men and do what they do, so he'll be accepted. And get a good job, and a promotion, and a raise, and a Porsche, and a wife. A wife who will immediately trade in the Porsche on a nice, sensible Dodge van with folding seats so they can be like all the other boring families. The poor fuck. The poor, stupid fuck.
So the sacrifices that we make to be part of a community as a whole, right, are seen by these individuals as a terrible, awful thing. because they live in a life that, you know what I'm saying, most of us, the majority, the vast majority, the 98% of individuals will, you know what I'm saying, always have to live in, right? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, being a part of a community, a part of something that's larger than yourself, requires you to knock off parts of you that are not going to fit in that community. It's going to take you, you know what I mean, showing yourself to be trustworthy and reliable and responsible. That's the point of manhood, is to go like, yes, I will make this sacrifice in order to grow your business, in order to be, you know what I mean, put in a position where I will be responsible for other things. And in order to do that, you have to show yourself to be stable. And in order to show yourself being stable, you have to stand here and you have to stand here and actually change yourself into being somebody who is trustworthy. It's an important mentality as a whole. You don't want to trust somebody who is going to fold at the first sign of some type of problem or danger, at the first sign of some health issue that's going to come up. Right? You're going to want somebody who's going to want to make that sacrifice no matter what. Let's keep going, though.
His manliness also requires that he refuse to go to a doctor or a hospital unless it can be demonstrated to him that he has in fact been clinically dead for 6 months. No sense going to the hospital, honey. I don't seem to be in a coma. Therefore, he must learn to ignore pain. It doesn't really hurt. Bleeding from 6 holes in the head doesn't really hurt.
Now, the mentality that, you know what I'm saying, you're not supposed to stand here and make a big deal about your injuries, make a big deal about the problems in your life, is that eventually you will get to the point where you miss so much time at work that you're no longer reliable, and other people around you are relying upon you. Now, individuals who have these things called children, right, have to go to work every day in order to earn a paycheck. It's that simple. Right. And, you know what I mean, when other individuals are relying upon you for their very, you know what I mean, existence, for, you know what I mean, you to put a roof over their heads and food in their bellies, to clothes on their backs, that means that you don't miss any time, whether or not you feel good. That's just part of being a parent. It's something that all of us have to go through who are parents in the end of the day. It's, you know, it's a responsibility you take on. And the reason why females stand here and date individuals who don't show pain and don't show weakness is because of the fact that they want somebody who is willing to do that for their fucking offspring as a whole. It's, you know what I mean, it's a biological strategy. It's not a bad thing.
Just give me the remote and get me a beer and get the fuck out of here. Most men learn this stupid shit from their fathers. Fathers teach their sons not to cry. Don't let me hear you crying or I'll come up there and give you something to cry about. Great stuff, huh? All the problems in the world, repeat, all the problems in the world can be traced to what fathers do to their sons.
It's absolutely just incoherently wrong. But, you know what I mean, in the end of the day, if your father taught you to be strong, and it's not just the only thing that he teaches you is to stand here and, you know what I mean, be a solid individual and not cry. Right? Your father also teaches you compassion and love and commitment and responsibility and honor and dutifulness and how to work with your fucking hands, how to take care of your fucking family, how to take care of yourself, how to be a man who other individuals see as being respectable. That is an important thing. It's also the person who, you know what I mean, teaches you culture and teaches you your heritage and teaches you your responsibilities, teaches you about your ancestors, teaches you and shows you that there's sacrifices made for you so that you appreciate yourself in the end of the day. That's what a father's supposed to do. Now, do we do that often? No. Mostly because of the fact that, you know, times are as such they are at the moment. But it's important, you know what I mean, that we do teach our sons these type of things.
So little boys learn to hide their feelings, and society likes that. Because that way, when they get to be 18, they'll be able to go overseas and kill strangers without feeling anything. And of course, that bargain includes a certain reluctant willingness to have their balls shot off.
Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of war as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Offensive war across the world to defend global trade. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that, you know what I mean, I've never been a fan of, and I never will promote on my fucking channel. I will never promote out of my mouth on anybody else's channel. I do believe that, war is something that comes in every man's lifetime, whether or not you want it to. And we in America have been, geographically isolated enough that it's something that has not affected us as a whole, right? Since probably about the 60s. Something that, like a lot of individuals really, should be pretty appreciative of. But the truth of the matter is that at some point, we will have internal conflict and you will have to fight off the wolves at the door. And also you have to be ready to defend your liberties. It just is what it is. These sacrifices we make are for ourselves and for our children. And it's something that your father is supposed to teach you to do. Let's keep going.
Honey, I have to go overseas and have my balls shot off, or else the rest of the guys will think I'm too afraid to go overseas and have my balls shot off. The poor fucks. The poor, stupid fucks. And so, as a result of all this repression of feelings, the extent of the average man's emotional expression is the high five. Or sometimes when really deep feelings emerge, both hands, the high 10. This is raw emotion. And that's about all they're capable of. And they have Dad to thank. Thanks, Dad.
Well, this is absolutely not true. Up until probably 30 or 40 years ago, you had a lot of male clubs where, you would go and share your emotions with, other males who, were mentoring you and guiding you through your process. You do it to, you show your emotions to your father, your uncles, your grandfather, things of this nature. And you'd have other men who would stand there and help guide you through your hard times. But it's something that you don't show in public as a whole. Like, you don't break down at fucking work. You don't break down in front of your family. It's an important thing to understand, right? But, due to the fact that we've destroyed all of our male clubs, all of our male spaces in order to stand here and, have free and open, to destroy our culture. That's why, because, we need more neoliberal motherfucking bullshit. We need more liberal motherfucking policies as a whole. Guys like this priest right here, are the individuals who help destroy it at the end of the day. Let's keep rocking.
But wait, don't think dads can't be fun at times too? After all, dads introduce their sons to the wonderful world of men, the male subcultures, the really tough guy masculine He-Man stuff. No wimps, no pussies, no softies. There are 5 deadly male subcultures, and they all overlap. The car and machinery culture, the police and military culture, the outdoors and gun culture, the sports and competition culture, and the drug and alcohol culture. And as a bonus, I'm going to throw in one more. The let's go get some pussy and beat the shit out of queers culture. As I say, they all overlap. Many men belong to all 6.
So, I'll be honest with you, all right? As teenagers, you do have violent tendencies, let's go get fucked up and beat some fucking queers culture is, or let's go get some pussy culture. These type of things are things that you do as a young man. It tends to stop in your fucking 30s as a whole, right? And even in probably your 20s, Earlier than that, if you have a family, these type of things will completely stop. But the reward for you being, a positive motherfucking producer of any type of good inside of this country is you being able to, stand here and go and have a decent car that you're proud to work on and proud to stand here and, have an opportunity to, have a hobby that's productive while you're at home, all right? Because most of us don't have, the ability to farm, right? Because that's what men used to do is they'd go and farm and, deal with animals and things of this nature. Or, they would go out and they'd hunt and they'd fish to provide for their families. Now we hunt and fish because of the fact that we have an opportunity to go and be in nature and become a part of what was created for us and a part of who our fathers were. The gun culture, as a whole, I have guns. I feel like every man should have a gun, be able to defend himself. But it's more of a bulwark against, tyrannical motherfucking governments. You also, have the police and military culture, which I'm not a part of as a whole. That's not part of my culture in general, but every man, should, know how to defend himself as an in general thing. But all of these, not a one of these things are a negative thing in the end of the day. It's just not. This is just more liberal indoctrination to get you to destroy yourself and throw away your motherfucking masculinity and your responsibility and place in society.
This male universe is, of course, detectable by analyzing its combustible chemical formula: gasoline, gunpowder, alcohol, and adrenaline. A chemistry rendered even more lethal by that ever-present, ever-delightful accelerant, testosterone. Talk about substance abuse? If it's chemical dependency you're interested in, you might want to look into testosterone.
Yeah, because testosterone is the worst thing on the planet that you could ever motherfucking put in your body, right? It's the worst thing on this planet. That's what he's saying. This is what the liberals want to do. This is what liberalism breeds. They want to destroy masculinity because they don't want it in their corporate structures. They feel threatened by you as a man. Important to understand.
Testosterone, the most lethal substance on Earth. And it does not come from a laboratory. It comes from the scrotum. A scrotum located, interestingly enough, not far from the asshole. How fitting. And as it happens, all these male subcultures share a particular set of features: homophobia, coupled with an oddly ironic, complete childlike trust in male authority. Men are attracted to powerful men. They also share a strong fear and dislike of women, and this in spite of a pathological obsession with pussy.
Men don't have a fear of women as a whole. Men understand that women are more dangerous than shotguns most of the time. Women can destroy your life by making an appeal to an authority, because women are seen as much above males as anything else on this planet. Women are seen above children. That's why when they argue for abortion, they argue for, you know what I'm saying, reproductive rights. We don't look at them sideways as an entire society and go, why do you want the right to kill our children? We don't ask that question of women. We ask that question of politicians. We never ask that question of women. Why? Why is this? It's because they're seen above reproach. So understand something. Men don't fear women. Everybody just understands their power as an in general thing.
Testosterone. So why are men like this? I think the overriding problem for men is that in life's main event, reproduction, they're left out. Women do all the work. What do men contribute? Generally, they're just looking for a quick parking space for some sperm. Couple of hits of hot jism and the volume on the TV goes right back up. It's my belief that most of these flawed male chromosomes should not be allowed to go forward for even one more unfortunate generation.
This is how academia feels about you. This is how your leaders feel about you. It's how the media feels about you. It's how the management structure feels about you. They look at you as expendable. Understand something. You're not an out-of-place billionaire. You're about to be eliminated. Piece of white trash in the end of the day. That's what you are. If you're black, you know exactly what you are. You know your position. This is reality. This is not a joke. They fucking hate you. They see you as expendable. They don't see themselves that way, but they most definitely see you this way.
But such is biology. And so, excluded as they are from reproduction, men must find other ways to feel useful and worthwhile. As a result, they measure themselves by the size of their guns, the size of their cars, the size of their dicks, and the size of their wallets. All contests that no man can win consistently. And let me tell you why all this happened. Because women are the source of all human life. The first human being came from the belly of a female. And all human fetuses begin as females. The brain itself is basically female until hormones act on it to make it structurally male. So in reality, all men are modified females. Where do you think those nipples came from, guys?
You ever heard that before? All men are broken females. Little boys are defective females. You ever heard that mentality before? Yeah, it's what they say in the school structure when they pump your kid full of fucking Ritalin. That's how you're seen. Again, you're nothing but about to be an eliminated piece of white trash. Understand what it is they see you as. Don't get anything fucking misunderstood.
You're an afterthought. Maybe that's what's bothering you. Is that what's on your mind, Bunky? That would explain the hostility. Women got the good job, men got the shitty one. Females create life, males end it. War, crime, violence are primarily male franchises. Man shit. It's nature's supreme joke. Deep in the womb, men start out as the good thing and wind up as the crappy thing. Not all men. Just enough. Just enough to fuck things up. And the dumbest part of it all is that not only do men accept all this shit, half of it they do to themselves. By the way, I'm not letting women completely off the hook. After all, the one part of the lower anatomy that is the same in both sexes is the asshole. But women who are assholes aren't called that. They're named for a different part of their lower anatomy. They're called cunts. Isn't it nice that cunts and assholes are next-door neighbors?
Again, they fucking hate you as a whole. They'd like to just see you eliminated. Why do you think they do what they do? This is liberalism, folks. It's classical liberalism. It's not progressivism. It's always been there. Forever. This has been there since the beginning. This is baked into the motherfucking cake. It is what it is. Y'all look. Tom Pease with Pnoid News. Y'all know how this operates. Like, share, and subscribe, motherfuckers. Peace.